Oh my gosh, welcome to our live guided meditation. My name is Stephanie. I'm a trainer and program specialist for Healthy Minds Innovations, and I'm back from vacation with a bang. Here we are going into practice. I'm excited to lead our practice theme for the week, which is all around finding inspiration. If you're new to Healthy Minds Innovations, you can find out more about us at the link below at tryhealthyminds.org. Essentially, we are a nonprofit that is affiliated with the Center for Healthy Minds at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and we have a well-being program which helps you to train your mind in qualities that are beneficial to well-being, resilience, and flourishing. And we've been gathering together during the midst of this pandemic to train our minds in these qualities, these skills that can really help us with being more resilient. And I'm really excited about our practice theme for the week, which is really all around finding inspiration. And I don't know if you know much about my background beyond being a trainer for Healthy Minds, but I'm a board certified health coach, and helping people tap into sources of inspiration is a really important aspect of developing healthy habits. And I know, many of us have come to the practice of meditation because we believe that it's going to be good for our well-being, and we may have dealt with some suffering in our life that's kind of brought us to this place. And practice, of course, is beneficial, but there is this consistency that needs to happen in order to really maximize the benefits in our lives. And so finding inspiration is certainly a way in which we can do that. So would love to just hear from you. If you could share with me where you're from, and I'll tell you just a little bit about what we're going to do in our practice today. I'm going to guide you through a couple of different reflections to help you tap into a source of inspiration. But what I want to say is that inspiration is not a single, there's not a single source of inspiration for every person. Each person is going to sort of have to find their own unique source of inspiration. These are just a couple of ideas on how to tap into that within yourself. And I'll pause in between each of the guided reflections, allow you to share a little bit about your experience in the chat, and then we'll move on to another guided reflection. So I think we'll do about 2 periods of guided reflection. We'll start with just a little bit of basic mindfulness practice to start us off. And then I'll give you a couple of tips at the very end that's in addition to the reflections. So if you are more of a person that likes to do contemplative journaling or do like a little bit of writing, you can feel free to grab a pen and a piece of paper if you don't want to do this as just a straight sitting practice today. So you can either do these reflections as a sitting practice or as a contemplative journaling. So just wanted to throw that out there if you want to experiment with a different type of practice today. All right, great. So happy that you can hear me. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Taking a moment to just ground ourselves in our practice by bringing our feet onto the floor, sitting upright in the chair. You can practice with your eyes open or your eyes closed, whatever feels the safest and most comfortable for you. And take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Feeling the body move with the breath. Air moving in and out of your nose. And so the foundation of all of our practices is awareness. And I'm going to guide you through just a simple body scan, but if a body scan doesn't work for you today, you could just continue paying attention to something like the breath. So go ahead and just bring awareness to the muscles in your face. Notice any sensations that are happening in your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. No need to change the sensations. We're simply being aware of what's happening in this moment in our body. And then moving your attention down to your shoulders, your chest, and your belly. Notice any sensations that are happening in that area. Might notice areas of tension, areas of movement from the breath. Whatever is happening, be with that. Have a sense of being supported by the chair. Notice the feeling of your legs against the seat, your back against the wall or the chair. And feeling your feet rooted on the ground. There's a real sense of simply being in this moment, embodied. So we'll move into our first guided reflection. And so I'd like to invite you to take a moment to remember the first time that you became interested in learning to meditate. What was happening in your life during that time? Perhaps there was a situation, some circumstances, or some emotional state that may have brought you to practice. So bringing to mind what was happening in your life at that time. And what about that time inspired you to practice? Perhaps it was just simply a sense of wanting to be healthier, dealing with a chronic health condition, maybe some difficulty in your life. So just seeing within that what inspired you to learn to practice. And as you're tapping into this source of inspiration, see if you can summarize it in your mind in maybe just a few words. So for me, freedom from anxiety was my inspiration. So what was your inspiration? Maybe it was finding ease. And once you've come to your source of inspiration, allow the mind to just simply rest and notice what thoughts, feelings, sensations might be present. And if you weren't able to bring inspiration to mind, that's okay. This is a process. You can just be with the exploration with some curiosity and some willingness to be open to no outcome. Just allow the mind to rest. All right, and if your eyes have been closed, you can take a moment. We're going to take a micro break here. And I would love to hear from you if you're willing to share what you came up with. What was the original source of your inspiration to practice? And so I'm going to type mine here. So I had two: finding ease and freedom from anxiety. And I would love to hear what yours were. So this is simply one way to sort of tap into inspiration, really thinking back to that original reason why you started meditating in the first place. So you can do that just through a simple momentary reflection. If it's helpful to have those one or two very short words or phrases that help you to remember, oh yeah, the reason why I came to this practice is to have freedom from anxiety. And that may not be your same motivation today, but thinking back, sometimes it can be helpful to kind of really remember what was that original source of inspiration. And so hoping that eventually through the chat that some responses will come through. But what I'm going to do is we'll move on to the next period of reflection, and we'll be able to look at the chats here after this next period of reflection. So let's go ahead and come back and regroup. We'll do our next reflection. So regaining your seat. Taking a couple of deep breaths. And closing your eyes if that feels helpful. Reorienting awareness to something in your present experience. Perhaps it's body, breath, or sound. Allow yourself to just simply be with your support, with mindfulness for a few moments. And as we're doing this practice, as we're moving back into reflection, see if you can just notice when the mind gets distracted and bring your awareness back to the reflection each time the mind has wandered off. So now reflect on what is currently inspiring you to practice by thinking about what motivated you to meditate today. might be that you appreciate the support and guidance. Notice that it's beneficial to your well-being. So whatever that is, reflect on your current inspiration and motivation to practice today. How does your practice benefit others? So moving the reflection sort of away from yourself to just noticing, how does your practice allow you to benefit others? How do you show up at work differently? Or in relationships differently? Take a moment to reflect on that. Is there a way in which you see your practice being of benefit to the world? Taking a moment to find inspiration beyond being beneficial to you, but really being beneficial to others as well. Maybe it's being a better parent, better partner, more patient and kind. And then you can once again simply drop the reflection and allow the mind to rest. Notice any thoughts, feelings, judgments, whatever's happening. Allow it to be as it is. Okay, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they've been closed. Here, we did a different period of reflection where we reflected on our current source of inspiration to practice. Obviously, you showed up today for a reason, but that's sometimes not helpful if you haven't gotten this far, if you're really like feeling unmotivated. So another way that you can do that is really thinking about how your practice is not only beneficial to you, but how it impacts everything that's happening around you. You're deeply connected to your environment. Perhaps, if it doesn't benefit the relationships around you, perhaps your practice benefits you being more mindful of consumption or your interaction with nature. So lots of different ways to sort of really tap into this source of motivation and inspiration that is bigger than you, bigger than us, a more altruistic sense of inspiration. And for me, when I originally came to practice, I was very much doing it for my own benefit, but really found that through time, it really shifted the way that I was able to show up in my relationships and my work and my work in the world. And it's just been extremely helpful to think beyond myself and tap into that more inspiring and altruistic motivation. I am wondering too, if there are other ways that you have found that you have been able to inspire yourself to continue practicing. So would invite you to share here in the comments any additional ways beyond what we've done today, sort of thinking about that original reason why we practice and that more altruistic reason why we practice. If there are some other ways that you have found inspiration in your own practice. And I just wanted to highlight some things here from the original reflections. So one person originally was brought to practice due to seeking spaciousness from overwhelming thoughts and emotions. Someone else said bored of thinking and loved moments of non-thought. Finding calm during a hectic time during grad school. Oh yes, I've been there. Knowing myself better, connecting to the universe. And so now more calm, serenity, contentment, and balance. Wonderful. Would really love to hear from anyone else who feels inspired to talk about your sources of current inspiration, whatever it may be. And so these reflections are just one way to do this. I think the other thing that I would just encourage you to do is to get curious about your practice. It isn't fun to practice and feel like it's a slog. And sometimes it will feel challenging. And, there are benefits to being with a challenging practice. But, when you're really looking to create a habit, finding different types of practice that feel inspiring and motivating to you. So maybe it's that you're a really active person and sitting down and doing a regular sitting practice is really uninspiring. Trying then instead to do more active practice, do walking meditation, do jogging meditation, elliptical meditation, yoga, whatever that may be. So seeking curiosity around maybe the active practices will be better suited for you in this moment. And then also we've got a whole toolbox of different types of practices and techniques to try. So, if maybe the breath isn't working for you, maybe you're really inspired by doing more embodied practices. So really trying to do things that get you into your body. So really being curious around, gosh, what energizes me? What feels inspiring? What makes me want to do this? And to do more of that, because the most important practice isn't the technique, it's actually the practice that we follow through on and that we actually do. And part of this exploration is getting curious, getting to know ourselves better, and finding what works to help us support a practice habit, whether it's tapping into that altruistic motivation, the benefits for ourselves, the benefits for relationships, or simply just trying a bunch of different practices and finding what resonates. There's lots of different ways out there, but let's see if there's anything else. No other sources of inspiration in this moment. So thank you so much. I would love it if you feel like you want to continue to add on to the chat. Invite you to do that. We've got Dr. Richard Davidson leading a meditation on Thursday at 11 Central Time. Please join Richie for that. And if you are finding these meditations beneficial, I would invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get the notifications of when we go live. And yeah, I just hope that you are healthy and happy and well, continuing to tap into your practice as a source of support during this challenging time. And of course, our Healthy Minds program app is freely available due to the generosity of our donors. And so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, I can't think of a better time to start meditating. Thanks for hanging with me in the midst of the audio challenges today, and I look forward to seeing you next.